All righty. Hi, everyone. Dr. Josie Schmidt here. We are back with another Doc Talk coming to you from Essential Wellness. And I am super excited to introduce today Denise Schroeder. She is a licensed massage therapist and lives and practices in Portland, Oregon. And she is on our Essential Wellness team. And gosh, out of almost all the massage therapists I know, Denise has fully incorporated doTERRA into every fiber and weave of her practice and how she works with it, just effortlessly and beautifully. And so I asked her if she would come on to Doc Talk and tell us about that, how successful that's been for her and how she's done that, and give us her tips and her pearls. And so I just want to let you know, Denise comes from a corporate background. She is incredibly capable and amazing. And so this is what she came up with. She is going to give us a full power-packed presentation. I am just in awe. So welcome, Denise, and I am going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you. And good morning, everyone. And thank you for tuning in today to see what we have to say. So as Josie said, I'm a licensed massage therapist in Portland, Oregon. Just a little bit about me and my background so that you know I'm not just sitting here spewing from no knowledge. I did do 30 years in the tech marketing role in high tech. And so I retired in 2016, had the opportunity to go to massage therapy school. I took a year to do that at East West College, and I opened my practice in January of 2018. So I'm relatively fresh in the massage area. However, I have been using doTERRA since, I put 2014 on here, but I thought about it, I think it's 2015. But Dr. Jenny got me started with using some supplements and oils, which ended up helping me overcome complications of Lyme disease, which was huge for me. And I will just throw in that DDR Prime was my first product, and it was certainly a life changer for me. That's a whole nother story. I wanted to share also that I have done a lot of essential oil coursework, and I have been doing that long before I got into massage therapy. I had a friend introduce me to the aroma acupoint therapy class with Peter Holmes and Tiffany Pollard as early as 2007. So I've done a few other classes. I will put a plug in here for Diane Del Rey's AcuOil Alchemy course, because it is amazing. And it taught me a lot about Chinese medicine plus the oils, which I had gotten that in the aroma acupoint therapy class. And I also took a Tui Na Chinese massage class at school. So all of those together were exciting to me, and the idea of pulling the essential oils into the practice was just very exciting. And then I finally took the Symphony of the Cells class from Boyd in just this past January from Boyd Truman, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then I am enrolled in Tiffany Carroll's Master Healer course, which is going over an essential oil a month in great detail, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm an essential oil geek. So for today, I split this into a couple different sections. So I wanted to talk a little bit about session preparation, then get into what I do during a client session. And I want to just preface right now that everybody probably does amazing things. This is just what I do. So I would love to hear what other people do as well. So don't think that this is the only thing, but I'm sharing what I do. I will also share essential oils that I stock. And I'll talk about why I do that, and some recipes along with how to talk to doTERRA, how to talk about doTERRA with our clients, because there's, that can be a little sensitive there. And then LMT starter kit samples, I threw in some ideas there, and then I have a number of resources that I find helpful, so I decided to share those as well. Okay, getting started. So before my client comes in, we all do our things for readiness. We all have things how we do get ready. And I know I was trained when I went to school on how to make sure we are protecting ourselves from energetic
boundaries.
Well, yeah, energetic for energetic boundaries, because people's energy can come in and stick to us. And so I tried a number of different things, but the thing that worked the best for me was Melaleuca. And so I just put a note here that I use the Melaleuca touch, and I apply it on the front of my body, just up and down my solar plexus, and then to the back of my sacrum, up to my mid back. And I just do this as soon as I get out of the shower. This takes like 2 or 3 seconds and I'm done. I move on to the next thing. And I know that I'm protected, which has really been amazing for me, because I have picked up energies, and that's not a pleasant experience. I'm sure some of you have as well. Then on my client prep and post, we all encourage them to drink water. I just keep a bottle of wild orange next to the water at where my client sits, and I put a little spoon or some stir sticks there. I use wild orange, but you could also use any citrus oil that you have on hand. I have found that people really respond well to this, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about the cleansing properties of citrus oils and the benefit that they can do, and that we're going to stir up toxins in their body. And so, this is a great time to just drink some of this great citrus oil and start helping that clear through our body. So then I move into session preparation. So, the message here is diffusing essential oils can certainly assist the client in leaving their world and their worries at the door. We all, people come in with really some pretty big things. And this is just, I try to help them as much as possible come in and just be able to let it all go. So we all use probably diffusers. I just put some examples of what I use in my entry area versus treatment room. And the reason I split that out is because sometimes we don't always know who's coming into the treatment room or into the entry area. And so if you're in a larger office space, and so the safe ones, I just decide, the ones I like the most are on the left. And then on the right, I use these in my treatment room, kind of based on what I know about the client. So I have a note at the bottom. It says, use caution with lavender or peppermint until allergies are understood. I've had some people really react pretty strongly to lavender, not in my office, thankfully, and then I hear a lot of people also have issues with peppermint. So just make sure that that's clear before you start using some of these oils. And I put asterisks by the ones that I would kind of guard against until And again, all of these are really fabulous to run in the room. And I don't know about you guys, but it's like, there was like, oh, what is that smell? So that's always very nice. Okay. Now I've got the client, they've been in the room, I've got their information, they're on the table. So how I start, I just called this client prep because the first thing I do is I sit down, I've got them, whether they're prone or supine, I just let them know, I ask them if they're okay if I put some essential oils on the cartilage of their ear. I don't say, because if you say on their ear, they might think you're going to put it in their ear, and that's really freaky. So I just say it's just a light touch to the top of the ear. If you're not familiar with this point in the ear, it's called Shen Men from a Chinese medicine perspective. It's one of the great points to help get qi to flow, or vital energy to flow in the body. You can see that it treats a number of different things. These are all issues that people, anxiety, stress, depression, insomnia, pain, addiction, and detoxification. A lot of things, this is stuff that we see with our clients when they come in the room anyway. So certainly in the anxiety and stress, and that's probably why they're there getting a massage for a lot of cases. So then I put the oil on my 2 ring fingers, just a drop, and I rub them together, and then I very lightly touch the spot on their ear. And while I'm doing that, I'm telling them, and actually I have them smell it. So I'll wave it in front of their nose before I put it on, so they know what it is. They usually love the smell. So they're like, wow, that's amazing. And I say, yeah, this is the oil of self-acceptance. It's bergamot oil. It helps relieve stress and anxiety. It really helps. What I have seen, I hold it for about a minute, and I've learned this in a couple different classes to do this and to start this way. And I have watched, and I will see my clients just like their body kind of drops after about a minute. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's pretty exciting because you can tell they have finally kind of let go of some of the things that they brought in with them. The second thing that I do, and again, so that was about a minute. Then I spend about another minute putting vetiver and On Guard on the point called kidney 1. And I've got the little picture there so you can see where that's at if you're not familiar with that point. I've just got the benefits here of both vetiver and On Guard. In the studies that I have experienced, I've learned that vetiver grows 14 feet into the ground. It's a root. They get the oil from the root. And so if you think about that, I mean, that's just grounding, just thinking about it growing that deep. I have used vetiver for years, and my mom has clinical depression. And when she would get, really anxious and a lot of anxiety in her head, I would put that on her kidney 1 point. And within 5 minutes, and I kid you not, within 5 minutes, I could bring her from a very anxious state down to a very calm state. So I've seen how this works. I know it's effective. So that one plus On Guard, this was actually, Josie, this was your recommendation of putting these on the feet. So I was like, I am going to add that to my treatment. You put On Guard on with vetiver so that not only they're grounded and rooted and the things are coming out of their head and letting them relax, but we're also giving them great immune support. Right now, On Guard also works well for seasonal threats. So, it's a really great combo to do. So again, so just another minute holding those on the feet, just because the oils tend to dissipate pretty quickly if they're not blended with carrier oil. So I just hold them for a bit, and it's just a nice way of getting them grounded and into the treatment. So last fall, when I was at the convention, I had run into this lovely woman who we got talking, and I told her I was a massage therapist, and she said, "Oh, if I was a massage therapist, I would do Symphony of the Cells. Have you ever heard of it?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It sounds familiar." So I went and got the book and the folder that you see in the center of the page here, and it was really mind-blowing to me. I had taken the Aroma Touch treatment a long time ago, and I loved it. But if you think about that, it's one set of oils for every single person. This is 18 essential oil protocols, and it's based on body systems, and it's by condition. And so when you do your intake on your clients and you know what their concerns are, you can tailor this for that client on the table. It's not just the same for everyone. So I find this to be a valuable resource. It's huge client response. They're absolutely loving it. They get off the table and they tell me they feel amazing. And I do believe that it's just the whole thing all together. The other thing I love about this treatment is that I feel it really prepares the client's body way better for the treatment, and that they can get the benefit of the massage way better than if I just started in just doing basic massage. So it also makes it easier for them and for me. So like I said, it's really pretty stellar. And then I also am going to put a little plug in for this Essential Oils expanded book on the side here. I bought that and I thought, I can't believe I'm buying this. I have so many essential oil books. But if I had to pick, these would be the 3 pieces of collateral I would have with me at all times. He's got amazing prescriptions on many, many conditions about different things to try, and very prescriptive, like this many drops of these 3 oils. And then, if that doesn't work, then you try a few others. And then he also gets very specific about which of the protocols to use. So it's really,
it's a condition guide basically.
Yeah,
And
it is.
It's very, and it's off of his and his mother's. So probably, 30 to 50 years of treating experience.
Yeah.
Denise, can I ask you, so you're starting and using this, because the Symphony of the Cells can be anywhere from like 8 to 15 minutes. It's very short. It's a quick application of the different treatments of the oils. And so you're incorporating that. And so you're saying you're starting and doing that first, and then going into kind of treatment and massage afterwards.
Yes. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because when I took the training, Boyd talked about just putting it on fast, just getting it over all the tissue and getting it on the feet. And he was really fast in training, I think because he needed to be. But I thought, I don't have to do it that fast. And so I
Yeah.
do kind of a crisscross over the back all the way up. And so I get the whole body. And so I make that part of the massage.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and so I'm putting on, there's usually 9 oils in every treatment. And so I'm putting each of them on, and I am giving them a fabulous, feeling across their back, just really, and it gives me a chance to kind of feel what's going on with them a little bit. And then I also spend a little bit extra time on the feet every single time I put an oil down there. So it's really bringing them, helping them get calm. I also talk about the emotional value of all the oils, and I'm going to talk about that later, but
Okay.
I find that the whole combination of all of that is amazing. And it takes about 10 minutes to get the oils on. And then while I'm, if I feel it needs to sink in a little bit, I'll start with a foot massage and just let the oils sink into the rest of their body. And so it just gives a chance for everything to kind of work in nicely.
Can
So,
I give I had a little workshop this last weekend with some people sort of going over and teaching the Symphony of the Cells. And there was a massage therapist there with two of her clients wanting to learn for themselves, to be doing the Symphony of the Cells. And I thought their testimonial was amazing in that it speaks to this. So the woman who's the massage therapist and her patient has Lyme, and she was coming for massage and for helping all these things. And she did the infectious disease protocol on her. And it was so helpful in that first session that then she suggested that she buy the oils herself and do it every other day at home. And she did, and the client did that. And she was seeing cling heart, Chinese medicine, doing everything with her Lyme, and nothing was making that much of a dent. And the Symphony of the Cells was the game changer for her. And so I just thought that was amazing to see how that connection with, she's working with this massage therapist in all these amazing ways, and she's still working with her, but then she was able to give her this other piece that was a true game changer for her chronic condition.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. The oils are amazing for Lyme. Again, I'm living proof.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So if you get a chance, or I have information at the back on his website as well, but he has his schedule for his classes. So if you get a chance to learn this, it's very powerful. Okay. So even if I didn't have that, I did before that. I had all of these oils available at my disposal. So I just kind of wanted to talk through each of these a little bit. If you are a massage therapist and you haven't used Aroma Touch yet, I would highly recommend it for all the benefits that are listed here. It's got cypress and marjoram and peppermint, and I can't remember all the other oils, but there's a lot of great oils in that just do so many good things, right? That's helping do all the things that we're trying to do from a massage, which is increasing circulation and decreasing inflammation for sure, getting the tissues moving and the lymph moving. I also use Breathe. I have Breathe on hand, and very much a great respiratory support, especially in times where I know that the weather's bad or there's a lot of colds. And so I have that going in my diffuser when they walk in. But I have a personal case that just happened a couple weeks ago. I went to go get a treatment and I was face up, and then I got turned over to go work on my back. And all of a sudden I just went into a claustrophobia attack. And I said, can you hand me my purse? Because I knew I had Breathe in there. So I just layered Breathe all over my face, my chest. And within about 20 seconds, my anxiety was pretty much gone, which was pretty big for me, and for anyone who has anxiety or claustrophobia like that. It's horrible. And so to be able to get rid of it that quick, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get off the table. I can't continue. And it went away that fast. So it's very powerful. Again, if you haven't used it, or if you're watching this to talk to a massage therapist, that's a whole nother thing too. This is a great thing just to have on a tissue for them to inhale. Sometimes I'll put the diffuser right under the face cradle, so that, because when people are face down and you are working on them, you're stirring up lots of stuff, and some people get really congested. And so it's just a really nice way for them to be more comfortable while they're prone. Okay, and then the other two things that I love, so I had gone in 2018 to listen to Dr. Mika, Dr. Josie, and Will Wan talk about trifecta. this amazing blend of these 3 oils. So frankincense, copaiba, and Siberian fir. These have been a game changer for my practice. I use this blend on probably every single client. You know, they come in, they say, oh, my shoulder's killing me. So after I do the Symphony of the Cells, before I go do like a foot massage, I will still go and I'll put some of this on the specific area, a drop or 2 of the blend. And then I follow it up with just a small amount of deep blue rub. And I let that just soak in, because again, by the time I go back to work on that very painful spot, I've got pain management in there. It's working on, you know, bringing down the inflammation. You know, it's got analgesic qualities in there. So again, a really, really powerful combo in my practice. So I've got a note here. It says equal parts of frankincense, copaiba, and Siberian fir. I've got a note at the back though about the video. Again, if you are a member of our group, you really should go watch the video and get the specifics about why this is really powerful. It's a great presentation. I show the big pump here, the deep blue pump, because I use a lot of deep blue in my practice. And so it was worth it to me. It's very easy access. I can just go very quickly and get a little bit. And I just usually store it on my arm while I'm doing my treatment so that, you know, I can just grab it if I need a little bit more in this certain spot. So that's very nice as well. Okay, so now I've finished with my clients and I'm cleaning up my room. And one of the first things I do, especially sometimes you get people that come in with a lot of stuff, and then, you know, again, that's why they're there. And so you now have all this energy in the room. I love to just put a drop or 2 of lemongrass in my diffuser. I crack the window and I turn that on and I close the door when I'm done. And it just does an amazing job of clearing the room for me. If you haven't tried it, you should try that. It works very well. I also am such a huge fan of the foaming hand wash. It has all the benefits of On Guard in there, but when I go somewhere, like I've gone on, you know, to go do chair massages at somebody's place of business, I'll take my little pump bottle with me because I have to wash my hands a lot and my hands get really dry. And so I can't take for granted what they might have as hand soap. The reason I had an issue with this, when I started practicing, I was in an office building and I was across the hall and I always had one of these pumps in the bathroom, but it was empty. And so I went to go refill it. And I forgot and I left it in my room. So I went in to wash my hands and I used I think it was Ivory liquid soap, and noticed that I had a little crack on the back of my hand and it was stinging. And I thought, wow, okay. So I rinsed my hands really good again and I, you know, wiped them off and I went back to my room and it was still stinging. So I grabbed my bottle of foaming hand wash and went back, washed my hands, and the sting was gone immediately. So, I mean, I know that there's a lot of chemicals in the other stuff. This stuff is just amazing. It's so kind to skin and protects us as well. Another plug. Oh, and then, you know, the thing I love about this too is I use this as a concentrate. And so I'll put maybe like an ounce of it into the bottle. I think I go up to the O on if you look at the little red line, I go up to O on the red label. And then so you get, you know, it's really inexpensive and we're not filling we're not tossing bottles every time we have to get a new hand wash. And then the cleaner concentrate, same story, very amazing for me. I use it for everything in my room, my table, my face cradle, my stool, just again, everything, doorknobs, and again, really inexpensive. Somebody had a post on Instagram the other day and they showed 18 spray bottles, that one of these fills 18 spray bottles. So yeah, I mean, it's really a great deal. And then the hand sanitizer spray. So sometimes when we go out when I go to do massage events, I did one last summer. I'm going to do it again this summer. It's outside underneath a grapevine and there's no sinks nearby. So this is an amazing spray to take along and just kind of give ourselves some cleansing protection for us and our clients in between treatments. So I love those. The one thing I forgot to put in here is I use the doTERRA laundry detergent for my practice as well. So that was a big one I missed because I love that. And it takes so very little. One time I put in a little extra and it was like tons of suds in my washing machine. I thought, okay, don't put so much in the future. I have a list here of some of the oils that I stock, kind of as introductions to the oils. So I talked already about wild orange and lemon, that I use those for water, but I've been known to give peppermint beadlets or On Guard beadlets, or just a little different, just giving them a sample of something while they're there. So these were just a few that I listed. Okay, now I'm going to get into just a couple recipes. I already talked about this trifecta blend. I just thought I'd make sure it was a little bit more formal here. So I usually use an empty frankincense bottle, because you want to mix these in the order that they're listed. And so I keep all my frankincense empty bottles, and I use it for that. Yeah, so basically, again, I never am without this, whether it's personal or in my practice. I have this everywhere. So, and then I've got listed on the side here that this great video that's posted on the Essential Wellness website was done in, I didn't have the date on here, but it was March 2018, I believe. So I would highly recommend you go check that out, because you'll get the full reason of all the details behind why this is so effective. Last year, when there was a lot of smoke in the air in Portland, I personally was having some issues, and even with the doors and windows closed in the house, and we had air conditioning going, but I ran into a couple of episodes, and every time I put this in the diffuser, my problem went away. So I a lot of times use this in my practice room. I use it pretty much throughout the winter. Again, if I knew that people could handle the peppermint. So I put a single diffuser blend there, and if you want to I do a premix in a bottle, just so that it's easy for me just to quick dropping it in there. And again, this just is amazing to help give our lungs, rescue when they're really, really bothered, really congested and in pain. And I love the fact that all 4 of these oils are in our top 10 oils. So so this is not just for massage therapy. This is for anybody in your home. This is just, we don't get sick, luckily, because I run this stuff all the time. And this is a real powerhouse, especially with the oregano in there as well. So highly recommend that one as a blend. Now, in discussing doTERRA with clients, our main focus is massage. And so clients are coming in, and, we want to make sure that the focus is all about giving them what they want from a massage perspective. And so I respect that. However, I do kind of talk through why I'm using the oils and the benefit of each of the oils for a while, right? Once they start to go down and get really, really relaxed. But in the beginning, I just talk about what I'm going to be doing and how I do that. So they love it. And I kind of put this in as like, this is just planting a seed with a client. So it's our way of sharing in a very soft introduction. So I have a couple of examples here. I had a gal, she said, she was a migraine person, and she just said, I don't drink water. I hate water. It's like, you really need to drink water, and that'll probably make your head feel a lot better. She said, I don't like the taste. And I said, well, how about if we put just a drop of wild orange in your water? Would you be willing to try that? Oh yeah. She drank it. She's like, oh, that's good. She's like, well, if it tasted like that, I'd always drink water. So she was very happy. And she came back the next time and said, just so you know, I have my bottle of wild orange right next to my refrigerator, and I get my water out of the refrigerator, and I'm a happy camper. So that was amazing. So she's feeling a lot better. Had another gal say, my stomach is kind of queasy today. And I said, oh, well, she was on the table. I said, why don't you put your hand out? And so I put a couple of drops of Digest-N on her hand, and she applied it to her abdomen. And I finished, and she's like, okay, what was that stuff on my abdomen? She said, I feel amazing. And my stomach ache is completely gone. And so she eventually enrolled in doTERRA. So, this is a great way to just do some very light introductions. Again, I also share peppermint beadlets. I mentioned that earlier. I talk about all the different ways that I use it. It's like if I have upset stomach, or if, breath freshener for sure. Staying alert, being able to comprehend. Those are just some great benefits of using peppermint. And then, if they talk about, I'm just so drained of energy and I can't focus, or if they always have pains, I mentioned that I take Lifelong Vitality from doTERRA, and I've noticed improvement in my health in these various areas, and asked them if they're interested in looking and feeling younger longer. Would you like to set up a time to learn more? So, in some cases they do. In other cases they say, well, I think I'll take a rain check. Okay, that's fine. And I move on. So just a few ideas on how to introduce it. Okay, I talked about so I just kind of wanted to share, so I talked earlier about using the trifecta blend with the Deep Blue Rub. So this is an interesting, I have just seen this combo work so powerfully for so many people already, and they are blown away. So my example of this is, I had a friend and she goes, oh my gosh, I've got arthritis between my first and second finger in this knuckle and it's killing me. And she said, I have tried everything. And I said, okay, well then I'm just going to put a little bit of this oil on. I had the blend done, put a couple drops. So she saw, I only put like 1 or 2 drops on front and back of her hand. And then I did a very small amount of Deep Blue. And then I sat there and I massaged it for about 5 to 10 minutes. And she was like, okay, I can't believe it. She goes, I'm noticing a difference. I've tried so many things. This is the first time. And then her husband was there, because we weren't in a massage, but she was, and he came running over and goes, well, my hand hurts too. And I did blah, blah, blah. I said, you'll be next. So they both had amazing results. They both heard it from each other and they're like, we're buying that. So, and so what I'm showing you here is this again is such a great combo, and you can talk to your clients about, what a great way to get somebody enrolled in doTERRA. So the retail total of buying these separately is $206. If with the wholesale account with a doTERRA enrollment is $190, so they're actually saving money, and they could buy for the next year at 25% discount. So that's one idea. And then the other one, this one I just found to be pretty powerful, because I'm a former headache person myself, which were migraines and just regular headaches as well. And so, and I have tried this and it works for me, and I've had other people try this. So using a drop of frankincense on the thumb, suck on it for 10 seconds, and then follow it by a drop of peppermint oil on the thumb and do the same thing. Suck on it for 10 to 15 seconds, and then repeat every 5 minutes until you get pain relief. Now, I only did it once. I was seeing auras, and it was probably in 3 minutes and my aura was gone. And I was blown away by how fast it worked, because I hadn't had one in years. So anyway, this case, somebody may choose to buy something else, but I just wanted to show this with just these 2 oils. So just frankincense and peppermint. Okay, so the retail is $120. The enrollment, buying these with the $35 enrollment is $125. So they're really only paying $5 more to have the enrollment. And again, they could buy at a discount for the next year. So just a couple of ideas. There's many, many combinations, but I was just going to throw these out because they have been very effective for me. The other thing I thought I would do is, when we're doing a consultation, the idea is you want to try and help somebody with, what might be a great idea for their next 3 months worth of LRP purchases. So I have 3 different examples here, starting at the top. So the Every Oil Kit is pretty amazing. And so from a business perspective, it's a write-off. And it contains all the oils. If you plan on doing the Symphony of the Cells, you have everything that you need. And so I put together, okay, then what would this person buy for the next 3 months, getting over 100 PV each month. And so again, these are just some examples, and it's pretty much, I tried to use what I talked about during this talk today. There might be a few extra things in there, but this just kind of helps fill in what things that they would be able to use. And you'll notice in the first month, I recommend them just getting a Deep Blue Rub in a tube, and then in the 3rd month, I say, go buy a pump, because the pump is very valuable. But in month 1, they can get started and have the Deep Blue available. And then you can always use that for, I use that going on my mobile events that I do. So I just, they can stick that in their bag after they get their pump, if they choose to go that way. The other thing is, I had somebody enroll last November who is a massage therapist, and let her know that usually in December, doTERRA offers a free frankincense for people who have 200 PV. And so she ended up this deep blue rub pump was her first month's LRP order, and she added another 40 PV to it, and she got a free frankincense. So, something to keep in mind as November comes around, or as your enrollments come around, even in the fall, because like I said, it could be the third month, and that could be what they choose to buy then. So just a little tip. Second one is the Natural Solutions Kit. So you get a lot of stuff here. You don't get all the oils though. So again, I just kind of started laying out the oils, the bergamot, the copaiba, and vetiver in month one. And then again, you can read the list going down. But and I didn't mention anything about the throat drops, but I keep the On Guard throat drops, the Breathe, and the Ginger, the new ones, which are amazing. I keep those in a little bowl on my client table where they're putting their water is, and also where they're leaving their jewelry. And, I just have a little take one in here, try this. And so people love those. And so again, it's another great way to experience the doTERRA products. And then the final one is the Home Essentials Kit. So the nice thing is all these kits, they get diffusers, but they're still, you can see now that it takes 4 months to get the same thing that the other two had. And again, certainly every oil kit, the first example, it takes much less to get completely up to speed. But, people have different budgets. And so this is just different ways to get there. Okay. And then I have resources. So I split this out. This page just has books. So I mentioned the Symphony of the Cells. So showing again the photographs of the pictures that I had in the Symphony of the Cells page. From a big books perspective, or larger reference books, The Essential Life is a great one, and that's from oillife.com. Down below, the Modern Essentials Handbook is another one of the larger books that has lots of great reference material in it. There's a new one called Advanced Oil Magic, and so Josie and I had talked about that. I haven't seen it personally. I've seen what the pages supposedly look like, and it looks really fabulous. Yeah. And then the other one I want to mention is the Emotions and the Essential Oils book. That's it's by Enlighten Healing. So there's several books out there that are called that, but if you're on the Oil Life page, you're gonna get the right book. Okay, so I have a couple pages of what I call helpful resources, and so this one, so I had gone through the whole emotional book, and I loved the emotional book. And so what I did is I took all of the oils, and then I wrote out all of the values of them. And then a lot of times when I'm using an oil on a person, I will reference the emotional benefit to the oil. And so they're listed here. And then I have another page that has the blends. So the first page was the singles, and then this is all the blends. The other thing that I ran into, and I don't know if, I'm sure other people have as well, it's like, oh wow, what's the encouraging blend? I don't remember the name of that one. And so by having these, in a document, so I printed these out and have them in a little plastic folder thing in my office, because sometimes I would look up something, like I was using the Itovi product, and so they would reference things based on the secondary name. And so it's like, oh, okay. So I then was able to reference this very easily. Now you'll notice that this one is in order, alphabetical order, using the secondary name. I have another chart here, another one that I have printed out, and this one has it in order of primary name. So I have it going both ways. So like I said, anyway, there's that. And then this one just has a little bit of information about what the blends do if you are needing that for any reason. And then I think I'm getting close to the end here. So this one is different people have price per drop calculators. And so this one is on Excel. I have updated, it's my version. I got this from somebody else, and then I just modified it and made it my own. So this does include the price updates that came in February. Wow. And so when I'm calculating customer pricing, I use the retail column. So the retail pricing, and so then what you'll see is, so it's got the 10 ml, 15, 10, and 5 mLs. I also show the wholesale cost in there just because a lot of times I just want to know what it is. And then the column next to it says retail cost per drop. And so that's the one that I use to calculate. And then to go a little bit further over to the right, it says examples of using this document. So I priced out using trifecta in a roller of 5 ml and a 10 ml if I chose to sell it that way. And so it only, because this chart, this slide only goes down to Copaiba because there's a lot of oils and I couldn't put them all on this page for you to be able to see it. But I wanted you to be able to see one example. So I put, so 35 drops go into the one. This is at the very bottom of the page for Copaiba. And then, so that turns out to be 653 because it's 35 drops times the 19 cents. And then for the 10 ml, I did 50 drops and then it was 933. And then you can see up at the top, the totals are at the top in the little green green boxes. So anyway, if you are an Excel junkie, it hopefully will make sense to you. If not, it's probably going to be kind of confusing, but I thought I'm just going to share it anyway, just in case. Just because I find
that's fantastic. Wow. The detail's amazing, Denise.
Yeah, it's really very helpful. And I've had a few people that do use Excel and they're like, okay, that's really good. And then they started whining a bit when the prices changed. It's like, okay, I will update it. Okay. And so this, I think, is my last slide. So this, I just referenced the fact that I have one file. I just said Denise's file. So it's called Price per Drop, Emotions, Blend Names. And it's from May of, oh, I didn't got my numbers transposed there. It's actually 2019 instead of 2109. But anyway, so it has the oil, the emotional reference, the cross reference for the blends, and then the price per drop is in there. And then the last thing I wanted to share, a lot of people want to know where to buy bottles or rollers and some accessories. And so I put that in here as well. And I just forgot to put the Aroma Tools link in there. However, it's aromatools.com. It's pretty simple. So that's pretty much what, I have for today. Yeah, that's the end of my slides. So hopefully that wasn't too fast and makes sense.
No, this is amazing. I'm looking, yeah, I don't think, unless I hear from Tracy, I don't think we have any questions. I think people are just taking, and I'll look here on the chat, it in.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic. It's such a complete kind of whole glance and then in depth of looking like, what does it really look like to incorporate this into a practice? I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So like I said, that's just my way. I know that a lot of people, like I said, I'd love to hear other people's suggestions of things that they're using that they find valuable as well. So please share. I think how we started this, Josie, was I said, do you know if there's a LMT group? Because I would love to just kind of communicate with a few of them and see what they're doing. And so anyway, like I said, if people can respond to this presentation, that would be great.
Yeah, so this is on Essential Wellness, our Facebook page. The Facebook Live is what we're talking about, and that would be so great for people to come and respond, give some of their testimonials, how they work with the oils, connect with Denise, and potentially you guys could have your own group going. So I see here on the Zoom webinar chat, Gail Gustafson is saying, I'd love to connect with other LMTs. So she's an LMT. So Gail, come on the Facebook. I see you're on Zoom. If you can come on the Facebook Live on our Essential Wellness page and introduce yourself to Denise, and you guys could get started. And I think that would be incredible to have a group where you guys are swapping resources and stories. And we all need more of this. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let me look here. No. And then we have Rebecca Saltman saying such great information. Yep, here's Sarah LMT. So it sounds like there's going to be a conversation going on Facebook and connection happening. These are incredible resources, Denise. And so, Denise, you want to say, so this presentation will be available on Essential Wellness, probably on the website. We are revamping the website right now. and either it'll be under Doc Talk or it's a webinar, and Denise would like to make this available to LMTs or to people who are working with doTERRA, and would love anyone who wants to share this with a licensed massage therapist to sort of show them and see if they would like to work with doTERRA. So you are making this presentation available for people to be able to utilize as well, which is so wonderful and generous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody for joining us.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Denise, for another incredible Doc Talk. And we will see you all next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.